You can see that the OM also flows slowly. Do you see that OM also flows slowly and sluggishly down? I guess he's got some microvasculature stuff, you know. Next. Also, okay, now let me just tell you, and what about the RCA? What about the RCA? RCA? Okay, can we go next? Forwards? Can you go forwards? 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 Next. Next. Yeah, so what about the RCA? Yeah. Minus. 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 No, there are no other comorbidities. Minus. 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 Yeah, so that's the reason we got to decide the therapy, and that's he could absorb the scaffold. Yeah, very good. Absolutely. That's why it's a very good indication, because we have to treat him for the rest of his life, and we don't want to implant any metallic stents if possible. But interestingly, now I did FFRs on all the three vessels. Let me tell you in the interest of time and show you the FFRs. The FFR on the LED was clearly positive. And can we show them the FFR on the LED? Does that show up there? The camera, can the camera be on the FFR? It was 0.7. So 7. Now the second aspect is, what I was very surprised by the FFR on the circumflex. Okay, at the pullback, can we go to the LED cranial view? That the maximum gradient came across that tight point in the proximal LED at the diagonal, and from there on, before that there was hardly any decrease. But anyway, the disease would have to be taken from the ostia itself, so that's not relevant. But the third point is that the circumflex. Can we just show them the circumflex FFR? And I would like you to comment on the circumflex FFR. Twice measured, twice done, the circumflex FFR was 0.93. Comments on that. And by the RCA FFR was 0.9. What was the RCA FFR? 0.91. And we measured the gradient both at the lesion as well as the ostia of the RCA. 4 millimeter gradient at each point. The circumflex was not a pullback. Okay, so here it is. Here. So we've got the FFR wire here, and we can do that. The wire is right here, and we will do a pullback. So are we ready with the infusion? Let me first recalibrate this, make sure that we actually have a zeroing which is appropriate, and we are in the left vein. We'll give him a nitro. We will give him nitro here because it could be microvascular, and here we are giving nitro, and then being sure that and that's a point of discussion. And can we flush it? Can you flush it? And we have a 0, which is okay. And now again we'll go back. And we gone into the circumflex, into the large circumflex, not into the small one. Good. And now again we'll start the infusion. We've got a baseline of 0.95. Infuse. I think it's a very great discussion. Why we've got less time to show you the stenting. I'm taken by surprise. I was not taken by surprise by the RCA, which was of a borderline stenosis, but I'm totally taken by surprise by the circumflex. So we again infusing. We've given nitro. You should start seeing the FFR. I hope. You're seeing the FFR there. 8, 9. We're 36 seconds into infusion. And we gave nitro as well. So we got maximal vasodilatation. By the way, the slow flows have disappeared. I'll show you that also.
Is that okay?
And you can see that it's just sticking at. And now we're into a minute and 8 seconds into infusion. And we're not shifting from 0.89 to 9. So I'm going to now do the pullback. And I'm now on the fluoro, and I'm bringing it back. And can you remove me and see the part of the screen? Yeah, just remove me and show them the screen. Remove my face. No. And the FFR also. Keep FFR and fluoro. Absolutely. Now you will see that I'm coming before the lesion, and I have moving back, and now I'm before the lesion. So what would you? Okay, we can stop the infusion. So what would you do? 0.89 to 0.9, a pressure drop of 10 millimeters, a young guy, a 42-year-old, visibly a high-grade stenosis. So yeah, I mean, here's where we stumped, and then you bring into the future study, which was stopped prematurely. So can we 100% rely on this FFR? I mean, this guy has a soft lesions. This guy has soft lesion, and obviously, yep. Correct. So we are. So I am. Okay. Now look at the flow. I just want you to see. Sure, I'm taking an angiogram, and look at the vessel flow now. Absolutely brisk, and during the brisk flow, we've got an FFR which is negative. Okay, so here's our plan, and now in the interest of time, let me have a BM an all-star. You see, my plan is, I'm puzzled by this, but the lesion to me, circumflex, looks tight. So I'm actually going to, he's got soft lesions. I'd rather stent the circumflex, had a 10 millimeter gradient there. Image of the cath lab. So I'm going to actually, if you all, with everybody's consent, I think this young guy with a circumflex, 42 years old, high-grade stenosis, 10 millimeter gradient, irrespective of the FFR, I believe that he could be at a higher risk of events. These are soft plaques. So I'd rather put a bioabsorbable scaffold into at least flex as well as the LAD. I'll have to be very careful about the LAD, about coming into the left main. But what do you think, Jean? I mean, this is a young guy. Let's think that we are pacifying his very soft plaque, which is pretty, this guy could progress his atherosclerosis fairly rapidly. All of us are puzzled by this circumflex, isn't it? We,
10 millimeter gradient, 10 millimeter gradient, 10 millimeter gradient. 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 10 millimeter
Yeah. Hello. So we'll have to do a cutting balloon to the LED, start from the ostia, and then implant it very carefully not to protrude into the ostia. But I'd have to do a cutting balloon to the LED. But if I've got to do the LED, I'd rather stent the circumflex first, because I don't want it, even if it was protruding, I don't want it catching on into my stent onto the circumflex. I must say, despite the FFR, and I did the FFR on the because I was doing it on the LED and I did it on the circumflex, I didn't expect it to be negative. But does anybody feel that we should anyway treat it because he's a young person with a possibility of plaque rupture and all that happening in the subsequent events? Should we just scaffold it? After all, we're using a scaffold. Does anybody feel that? Yeah. So you would want me to leave it at this stage? You would want me to leave it at this stage? No, okay, right. He- Okay. Okay. I'm just worried that he's a young person who must have soft plaques. But anyway, we got a 0.9, and had it been 0.85, I may have been tempted, but 0.9 is 0.9. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's come out. We could always come back.
My
Okay,
this is
and
cranial. I think
yeah, so let's get into the LED first. Okay, let's go cranial, and let's have a cutting balloon, which could be a 3.5, a flexotome. Show me, Vijay. Okay, so the wire's there, and let's have a flexotome. That took us by surprise, didn't it? That circumflex. I totally am stunned. I hope I can trust the FFR in the long term on this soft lesion. So yes, flexotome. You can take a 15. He's got soft lesion, so let's try that. It's a 3.5. So Jean, we have a flexotome, and that's basically because of the ostia that we just want to be, and then we have the OCT to be done as well. We must not forget that. So even if we move away from me to the other lab, don't worry, because we're going to come back and come back at the end to show the result, okay? No, I'm going to go. I'm actually doing the cutting balloon, then followed by OCT. Because I'm going to do cutting balloon anyway, but the OCT would be to size the vessel appropriately and know exactly what to do. Would it be a metallic stent from the ostia, or would it be absorb from the ostia? 3.5. Go up. Check that. Okay, let's go up. There's a side branch which comes off there, as you saw. Go up 2. Four. You see and 6. That looks neatly open. These are soft lesions. 7. Okay, good. And deflate. Caudal. AP caudal. Okay. Vijay, you could be looking here. Okay. Go up. 4, 2. Little bit. 4. That seems a good size. You see, these are soft lesions. It's not holding back. Deflate. Okay, so my balloon's done, and there was not much indentation. We don't want to split this vessel indiscriminately, and so I'm actually happy now to go down and look at it and see what happens. Are we working on? We're working on the BMW. That's correct. Okay, so let's look at this in both views. Okay, let's go cranial. And now we've given nitro and everything else. So here we are. We're going to do the OCT.
What was the pressure of the balloon, of the cutting balloon?
6. The 6 at 7 atmospheres. It reaches its nominal by 8 atmospheres. No, 6 by 6 atmospheres.
And in general, when we are using the cutting balloon, Ashok, for the preparation of the lesion before BVS implantation, do you move directly from the cutting balloon to the BVS, or do you use a regular balloon after the cutting?
Yes, because here, because I was 3.5, I'd be quite happy to actually go through. The cutting balloon had expanded completely. I'd actually be quite happy to go with the BVS directly now.
Okay.
You see, on the pre-dilatation, I must tell you my philosophy. I actually use a near optimal size balloon and get to the size, but I don't want to disrupt the vessel to such an extent that I have huge dissections where I'm trying to then cover the dissections rather than. So I'm actually saying that as long as I've opened the lesion 80%, I'm happy. And I've propagated that philosophy very clearly. Near optimal size rather than optimal size. I've had too many dissections which have required long scaffolds by going to 1:1 and high pressures.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think it's safer, and I'm not sure that there is any difference in the result. If
Correct.
You,
that's the whole
the
issue.
size,
I know the
balloon for the predilatation, or to be less aggressive for the predilatation, in order to avoid the risk of an extensive dissection. So it's better to do a suboptimal predilatation for the preparation, and after the BVS implantation, followed by an aggressive post-dilatation.
Yeah, I partly agree, Ashok. You're doing now a large vessel, and I don't have any issues on this one. For a vessel which is close to 2.5, I think that you're implanting a 2.5, and you definitely want to be sure that your 2.5 balloon is fully open. So I'm a little bit more aggressive for the smaller scaffolds. I want to be sure that they have a very good balloon result. It's more difficult to see if a 2.5 balloon is fully open. So I might be a little bit more aggressive in the smaller vessels.
So, fair enough, fair comment. But I absolutely, but you know, we still haven't learned whether it's this or it's post-dilatation. Post-dilatation is important, but we still haven't understood whether there's any, near optimal versus optimal. Is it really making a difference? And as you know, I'm just firstly going to do this while you continue talking. But as you really know, some of the data shows which you dilate these vessels aggressively, you have a not necessarily a great outcome in the first year. Okay, ready? Oh, and also I want to show you that the diagonal is disappearing.
You switch to the OCT.
We see the OCT.
Okay. I'll also have to. So while you look at the ACT, I'm actually going to wire the diagonal. Okay, can I have the diagonal? Another BMW?
Would be interesting to see in the meantime the OCT too. Or are you doing an integration there? An overlay?
Yeah, can we show you the OCT?
Thank you.
Can we show you the OCT?
And then from distal, you can already see here the extensive dissection of the cutting balloon. So this is a very nice landing zone, 3-layered appearance. And here already starts the dissection. This is side branch coming in. Where's the side? Where's the side branch?
इनको MS दे दो. Sedate कर दो. So the size of the vessel would be close to a 4, 3.754.
Before this, we have to do
Are you
calibration first to be sure that the measurements are okay. And there's the lumen profile, which is helping us. You see the contours are a little bit in red because the automatic contours, it's at the locations of the flush is more difficult. The location of the dissections is more difficult to have the automatic contours. But you can see the distal landing zone. I think there the contours are okay. For me, close to the 8 millimeters from the pullback. And then we have to see how we have to extend proximally. So this is the flush from the catheter.
I'm not sure.
Can we
See
try to
can I
identify
see
the
the diagonal
circumflex?
earlier on? Okay, so see, they want to see the circumflex. No, the diagonal pre.
I think your distal landing zone was nicely marked with this technology, so on 8 millimeters on the pullback. And then we have to do the cross sectionals at
And have the diagonal in there.
It should be nice to see the
Diagonal.
the left main bifurcation, if we can see the
By the
awesome
way,
LED.
while you continue to talk, I'll try and salvage the diagonal which occluded when we were actually doing the cutting balloon. Okay, so you continue to look at it. Here,
So here we are.
LED दिखा दो please. शुरू के shots.
yeah, from that
cranial.
perspective, it looks like that the dissection is extending a little bit beyond the bifurcation into the left main area. And that would more,
The next one.
for me, a reason to go crossover stenting from the left main to the LED. Sure?
Yeah, it's true that when you look at 22, 23, we are in the ostium in the left main, and there is this section at 6 o'clock, and if really we are here in the left main, it should be better to cover But if we want to cover this, it should be better
Yeah,
to
we'll be at the
use a
ostium.
metallic stand.
So
Yeah, if
I'm
that is
just
the
firstly
case, then you
going
would
try
like
and
to
get this
address the
diagonal and then
circumflex
talk
also
to
at
you.
the same time before you cross over from the left main to the LED?
No, we decided that the circumflex by itself doesn't need treatment,
Okay.
so then we can cross over.
ठीक है, just a minute. Not too hard, okay?
We are seeing the three-dimensional reconstructions are interesting, but still we have to try to understand the dissection flaps we see on the cross-sectional and to be sure that
वो
we're looking
लगाया
at
नहीं
the
ऊपर,
right
तुमने दिखाया था, लगाया नहीं?
bifurcation and find the proximal landing zone.
तुम AP cranial लगा दो, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is the entry of the dissection, and it's not the side.
So I think what's happened is, of course, that there's a dissection into the diagonal. So we're just going to try and salvage this diagonal and see whether we can actually get this wire in a
That's a left main.
way.
Curious.
This is the
I hope that.
that's where they did
Okay.
the hematoma.
So we are into the diagonal. And could I actually have a 2 millimeter balloon
This is
and salvage the diagonal first and then do everything to the LED? Okay.
Yeah, we have
2
to be
millimeter,
careful
215
using
or
this
something.
automatic bifurcation detection because here the software is trying to detect the bifurcation. And you know, if you have a dissection flap, it might detect bifurcation by its detection technologies. I'm not sure if you have to believe on that one.
So here I am actually, remember all that diagonal was diseased? So, and it's a reasonable size diagonal which is occluded, so I've crossed it. And now I'm going to actually just dilate it and then deal with that. So here we come into the diagonal. Okay, from here was the disease process, so let's go up here. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Deflate. And 4, 6, 8. 2 millimeter balloon, deflate. So let's see, hopefully we got the diagonal back. Okay, check. We have a dissection, so we'll have
Ashok,
to
as
send
you're
that
working
first.
on the case, I think we have
Okay.
to move on to the next lab.
So, yes, do move on, because I'll firstly send the diagonal and then decide on the LED.
Okay. It's very interesting.
Okay.
We would like to stick on to you,
Yeah,
but
because the diagonal.
what are your plans?
See, that's diagonal. I think it'll require a long tube. So here, there'll be a metallic stent on the diagonal. It's a long stent. Or I may even put a BVS. But remember, I'm not even sure whether we're going to have a BVS or a DES on the LED. But I could even put a BVS down here. But then if the ostium is not caught properly in this acutely occluding diagonal, we'll have a problem. So let's see. I'm going to play it as I go. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we can move to the
And
second
so
lab.
I'll come back to you, and you can tell. I'll tell you what
Okay.
I've done.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Can we move on to this next lab, please? Yeah, Ashok, we are back.
Go back on this till where we started. Oh, thank you. So just take me back to where they left when I was in the diagonal, when I was trying to salvage the diagonal. Go to the grid. Go to the grid. Grid दिखाओ so that I can actually show them where they left off. सारे
You are at the point where you are dilated the diagonal.
now
And you are supposed to stent the diagonal.
yes, no, and oh, no, I was at the stent the diagonal. So go to that one, first one. नहीं उससे पहले. I think it's go backwards. Go back. इससे भी पहले. Okay, now go somewhere here. 25. Next, and you see we lost the diagonal here. Next. So we had a struggle down to the diagonal. It was a big dissection. Next. This is where we noticed that the diagonal was gone. Remember, you were looking at the OCT. Next. And we finally crossed this diagonal. There was chest pain and there were STT changes. Next. And then this is where I left off. And I said I'll play by ear. Now the important thing was to salvage this diagonal, and this is a less than a 2.5 diagonal. And irrespective of what we do to the LED, I felt that we'd use a metallic stent. And in a way to salvage the diagonal, it'd be best to do a T, try and guess the ostia, and then keep the LED for whatever we want to do. So next. So here is Alpine being positioned in a manner that we could get a T and catch the ostia, and you can see that I'm trying to catch the ostia and have a balloon in the LED, so that if even some struts protruded, that I could actually just crush the struts. Next, I don't mind missing the ostia as long as the huge dissection is cleared and the diagonal is saved. And that's what I've done. I've got an Alpine at 12 atmospheres, and you can see it's large for that vessel, that 2.25 millimeter vessel, and we've salvaged the diagonal. Next, but we've actually also not encroached on the LED, and then this is just to make sure that we actually had good patency. Next, I then decided that I would actually use a absorb on the LED. It's a longish lesion. It will take an absorb. It's a large vessel, but it's a 3.8 millimeter vessel, and it deserves an absorb. Next, and positioning was, as you remember, we had the ostial dissection as well, and therefore it was very important to catch the ostia, but then the ability to catch the ostia versus not protrude too much was the biggest challenge. Next, and I think I could have, and this is what I'm trying to do here. And remember, it also takes up, and then there's this disease process there, and all those issues in mind. And therefore I did position it, but I think I came slightly proximal that I did, but not so bad. So you'll see the next one. This is where it's going up. Next. And I have stated it, and you can see the marker on the scaffold which covers slightly the ostia of the circumflex, but certainly catches the ostia very well. So this is implanted at 6 atmospheres, and now I've got to do post dilatation at high pressures. Next. So I took in a 3.75, and I positioned a balloon and a wire in the circumflex to be sure that I actually do not compromise the circumflex. And here I'm going up to 20 and 22 atmospheres with a 3.75 balloon. Next. I've done that across that diagonal. Next. And I've done that here. Next. And I've actually done it on the ostium as well at 22 atmospheres. I have a patency of the diagonal, of the circumflex, a patency of the diagonal. I'm looking okay. I seem to have covered the ostia, but I could be, I think I'm a couple of millimeters proximal. I would have preferred to be just a couple of millimeters distal, or maybe a millimeter distal, but at least I know I've covered the ostia. So now OCT is going to tell us what we've done, and I'm sure you're interested in seeing the OCT. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We have to
Next.
realize that the scaffold is extending half a millimeter
Next.
outside its markers. So if we see the marker, it will be half
Next.
a millimeter.
And that's right. Absolutely. And the diagonal is preserved. That's what I wanted to tell you. And I'm not going to cross it through the struts and destroy my scaffold. All I wanted to do was preserve the diagonal, and it's preserved beautifully and flowing. I hope you agree with that.
Yeah, no, it looks good and geographically. So we see a little bit of
Okay.
accents-
Okay. So now
eccentricity.
go to the OCT. OCT. Okay, so this is the OCT now. You can see distally coming back. And I think I'm going to do a higher pressure dilatation at this point. We're coming to that diagonal. Now just stop at the diagonal. The ostia of the diagonal doesn't look bad. Okay?
Looks
So I think
perfect.
it will remain patent. Yes. And then as we come backwards, we got a large vessel out here. So don't go slowly. I'm showing you that the struts are embedded here. Not so bad at all. So keep coming back. So here we are doing well, and this is pretty good. And now we're coming to the ostia, and I think this is the place of interest. Well opposed. Now we actually have to oppose this better here. Keep coming back. Keep coming back, back, and then here the circumflex. Let's stay on the circumflex. Keep coming back on the circumflex. There are struts across the circumflex. Now I come to the left vein, and we have just a few struts to oppose in the left vein. And then move back, and then we're gone. Okay, and that's the last of the struts. So I'm going to now take a 4 millimeter and oppose these struts, and then show you that whether it looks good. And I'm going to go up slowly on that 4, but go up to 20 atmospheres and oppose those struts.
Well, you do the 4 atmosphere, the 4.
What do you say?
millimeter. I was thinking, now the 3D might be interesting to see this milepost area. So you previously had a nice 3D.
Okay, let's have a 3D. Yes. So I also want to do a 3.5, at high pressures distally, so we'll do that, but let's do a 4. So let's see a 3D reconstruction.
It's not so
So
much-
what do you think? I've caught that. Caught the ostia. I could have been a millimeter distally, but I'm not. But whatever is protruding can be well opposed. Luckily it's not protruding too much, though it's across the circumflex. But that was the only way to catch the ostia, especially because it arises upwards.
You can see.
That's the 3D reconstruction. What do you say?
Yeah, I think at the upper side you can see partly the struts of the absorb are not so much visualized, they are not detected, but in a few rotations back you could see that opposite, they were not opposed. There was some distance between, so if you rotate again,
So
continue the rotation.
Yeah. So okay.
I think we have a minute more.
So I think personally, I think we'd be able to oppose it now. So I'm going to work here, go up 4, 6, 8, 10, 14. Deflate. So are you, now she's seeing this fly through?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing the flight through, but I see that you also have your balloon in place almost.
Yes, that's right. So, okay,
proximal-
apicaudal.
John, the proximal struts of the stents are still in the left main,
Yeah,
and they are not yet opposed.
that's why it's doing the 4 millimeter.
So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
4 millimeter post dilatation balloon.
Okay, let's go up to 4, 6,
Slowly.
Can we see the angio?
8, 10. Angio, can they show the angio?
Yep. Okay.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Stop. Deflate.
Already now we see some
And we'll-
struts. Stop here.
Make sure that go up 2, 4, 10, 12, 14, 18, deflate. Okay, now I'm again going to actually take first an angiogram and see what it looks like.
Yeah, and I think you plan
Okay,
to do.
and now I'm going to actually now study again.
You're going to do an optimization.
Another, sorry, yeah, I'll do that. But first, in the interest of time, you want to see what this looks like after this 4 millimeters, because I certainly want to optimize distally as well. But I've done this 4 now, till from the branch backwards, though I'll do the 3.75 and extremely high pressures beyond the branch.
Okay.
Okay, that slight indentation that you see in this view.
Ashok, we
But you want to see the
have to
OCT,
leave you
don't
now.
you?
It was a wonderful demonstration.
Maybe in the minute that we have, you can see the OCT.
Okay.
Okay, if I can get this catheter in the meantime. These are very irritating because they don't come out of the hole so easily. They should put a marker there somewhere. Yeah, they got it. Okay, so just give me exactly 1 minute, because I do want to see myself whether I managed to oppose, and then also take your opinions on this. Covering the circumflex is not a big deal. I by the way, I was able to pass even a balloon through that. Okay, here we go. Go cranial. Yeah. Okay, and let's take an. Yeah. Huh?
Okay, maybe you can see the OCT live
Touch kar do.
already, so that
Okay.
you can have the first idea.
Yeah. Okay, ready? Watch this.
Can we see the OCT, please?
You're
Yeah,
watching,
can we
we are
show
not
them the
watching.
OCT? And can you show them the most proximal? Oh, can you show them the OCT there?
now
Yeah.
we have.
Okay.
And just come to the left main. Just come to the left main. Yeah, the proximal.
there's too much
Oh gosh,
flush
that missed
there.
out the struts. Okay, go distally slightly. No. Take another one. Take another one. I'll come back. Just watch this, because I think this is going to be so important. I'm going to just bring this back
Make
a
a
bit.
short arm and start
Okay.
a little bit closer to the left main. Yeah.
Short run, absolutely. Let me know.
Yeah, well, we've seen it.
Okay.
This one is good. Huh?
Okay, so let's just get back to the left main.
All opposed here.
Come back more. Well, no. There was some struts there.
Slowly.
This strut. It's rotated to the circumflex. Circumflex. Yeah. Okay. Now you show me where these struts are.
They are a little bit proximal to the circumflex, and that's the area which is very difficult to get.
A little bit no. Yeah, just two steps forward. Just go. Yeah, that's right. And go towards circumflex. Stop. Go more towards circumflex. More towards circumflex. More towards circumflex. And you start seeing the circumflex here. By the way, this is circumflex.
Yeah.
You see that? This is where it's the circumflex. In 1 millimeter more towards circumflex.
Okay, here we are.
Is that so? And come back 2 millimeters. Maybe it's on the other side. Yeah, there. So do you want me to actually do more? It's 1 or 2 struts. I don't think I'd ever get it opposed.
No, that.
I could do a low pressure 4.5, extremely at 1 atmospheres, but I don't think it'll get me there. This was a 4 at 22 atmospheres.
Yeah, and then see, huh?
Yeah, NC.
For an apposition.
We
if
could
you
take a
have
4 compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take a 4 compliant because at the end we don't need NCs here. We could just do a compliant, okay?
Yeah.
So
you
we'll
might
take a
do-
4
we have to
compliant
cut
and
you
go
off,
up at least to
Ashok.
4.2.
What you can do, Ashok,
Yeah, sure.
because
But
there
I'll
is
tell you
one
later
strut
on.
a little bit floating in the distal left main. Take a 4.5 millimeter balloon,
Yes,
low
yes.
pressure, and it will be right.
Yeah,
So
I think that's one thing I'm going to do, and I'll show you the results.
you can do that.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll do a 4.5 at 3-4 atmospheres, and we'll see.
So I think
Okay,
we have to
8 millimeter.
move
8 millimeter,
1 minute to the
4.5.
lab.